Thank you all for attending this Energies event this year, 2022. And thank you all for being here with us. Thank you also for the organizers and for connecting us with the esteemed panel of experts from the FM industry in KSA. My name is Karim Al-Nabawi, a senior sustainability consultant from AESG. I'm a licensed instructor from USGBC, and I'll be moderating this session. Just to give you a quick introduction before introducing our panel, as you are all aware that Saudi Arabia is leading by example in the sustainability movement, committing to reducing the harmful levels of greenhouse gases that are contributing to the climate change, and by tackling sustainability issues and implementing environmental and sustainability programs that leads to both Vision 2030 and also the Net Zero Initiative by 2060. In this panel discussion, we will be discussing sustainability and digital innovation in KSA's built environment, where we will explore how technology, social and environmental trends are driving the kingdom's built environment, and what is the next stage or step for project delivery, innovations, and sustainability in the built environment. We have with us today Amani Al-Muajjal as a general manager. She leads the overall operations for Innova in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. She is also responsible for consolidating Innova's growing market position in Saudi through client retention, accelerating the digital transformation, and addressing the built environment sustainability challenges. So welcome, Amani, with us.
Thank you. Thank you, Karim.
We have with us as well Mr. Anas Al-Zaid, who is the CEO of Initial Saudi Group. He has over 30 years of experience in the FM industry. He has held senior FM and safety and security roles with major organizations, including the Saudi Armed Forces, Saudi Telecom, Schlumberger, and the Ministry of Health. He's also a certified arbitrator for the Saudi Ministry of Justice, co-writer of the National Health Standards, and he has served as a chairman of the Health Facilities Compliance Initiative for Saudi Vision 2030. So welcome, Mr. Anas.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having and to participate in this Synergy series. Really my honor to be with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. We have with us as well Jason Ruhland, who is the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer of Muhail, a facilities management joint venture between Al Muhaidab Group and Abdul Latif Jamil. Starting his journey with Carillion, he has around 10 years of experience in delivering quality facilities management services across the Middle East. So welcome, Jason.
Shukran, Kareem. Thanks for having me here today.
Thank you. And finally, we have as well Salim Baik, who is currently overseeing EFS's overall business in KSA as Chief Operating Officer in Saudi Arabia. He's among EFS longest tenured professionals with more than 4 decades of experience in progressing through senior roles in operations, project and management departments. So welcome, Salim.
Thank you, Karim. Thank you.
All right. I hope that we are going to have a fruitful discussion today, and we would love to hear the insights about the market from you. We will have like 4 to 5 minutes per each question. And at the end of the discussion, we will also have like 10 to 15 minutes to answer the questions by the attendees. So any attendees who would like to share any question, please share it with us through the presentation written. So at the end of the discussion, we can discuss it with the panelists. All right, so the first thing that I'd like to start with is related to the FM industry and the companies who are involved in the market. And I'd like to ask this question to Mr. Salim. Do you think that companies are accommodating to the Saudi Green Initiative and Vision 2030? Which is yours.
Thank you, Karim. And the first thing which I wants to elaborate here that the Saudi Vision started 2030 in 2016. And since then, working very hard to make sure that green initiatives, whatever we have here in Saudi Arabia, are being taken care, and we are participating within our company in EFS and with our clients also to make sure it is one of the major items which is there is the energy efficiency. Of course, it is electricity and the all other sources The second one is the certification, where we make sure that the buildings are LEED or the certified there wherever it is possible. The third thing is some of the buildings where the pre-construction type of things are coming, we help them to in the design stage. And this is, I will say that everyone should go for it, because the FM inception during the design and construction is very important. We can make sure that all the green initiatives, which is the vision of 2030, are being captured within the initial design stage, and then it goes for the constructions. Again, there are a lot of things in the construction fields and where you need some sort of a special, the materials and these things that will come also the side by side on the construction side. So this is very important for the pre-construction. The second thing is, like now we have, a lot of buildings which are already built, so we have to make sure that how we can participate to make sure that we go for the green initiatives in these existing buildings. We as an EFS are going very big with our clients. We make sure that, yes, we are implementing certain policies and procedures. We are changing something in the lightings, in the water, in the lot of areas we are working, sensoring. We are installing the sensor wherever it is possible, and with the client inception. We are also going for the smart building solutions, where you have the access systems or the sensors, lift controls, you name it, all these things. So these are the few of the things which is in the OEM side. The second thing which is very important, and we are working at our end also, and we are coordinating with some of the main leading companies, are the waste management. Waste management is a very big issue here, and especially go green by 2030, we have to make sure that whatever is our existing practices, we should reduce the waste. We should refuse. We say that we don't want to waste anything. It has to be either reusable, or maybe we can work it out. The recycle is one of the ultimate goal, that we have to reduce the waste by 2030 from 70 to 30%. This is a vision. This is a vision. So we are also working with different of the companies I don't want to name here, in very big companies in the North, where we are coming up with the solutions of the community waste, the facilities, waste management system, and all this. Second thing where I wanted to highlight here, that as an EFS, we are working very big and high time with the Saudi workforce engagement. This is the main, where we want to make sure that by 2030 we have Saudi workforce. They are enabled. So we are engaging now within our organization, the HR, finance, engineers, trainers, admins, you name it, we have. And we are currently now in the engaging with the northern region, the Ayula project, one of the cleaning institute, which will be for the Saudis only, and make sure that we are the giving them proper trainings, and they will be ready to take over some of the projects. These are supervisors, engineers, and some of the cleaning team leaders and all these things. So this is what we are doing it. We're also working with the Saudi workforce for development, where on-job trainings are also there. We are also doing the talent hunting, where we are going, around the kingdoms, and then we capture the Saudi workforce. We brought them to our head offices or wherever we have the on-job trainings, and we start working with that. The third thing, which is the local vendors and products. When we are talking about the green initiatives, we have to make sure that we are using our local products. We make sure that, yes, we have very big companies in Saudi Arabia. I'm here since the last 40 years. I'm seeing very, very huge and giant companies, like if I name it, Zamil in the air conditioning, the Saudi Ceramic, you have everything available with, for the construction and all these things. So this is where we had to go and adopt these things in our new buildings, in our like the post construction and pre construction also. There are a lot of systems now, social gatherings where we have people there. We are also implementing some of the systems which are good for the people, those who are working in FM, those who clients, those who are working also with our company on the side of the developing some of the system policies and processes and implement that on our projects. Some of the items which I want to also highlight, especially for the green initiative, is some of the clients. These clients are very much into coordination with us. We are working very closely with NEOM. We are working very closely with Alula. We are very closely working in Jeddah, some of the projects, and in Riyadh also. These projects are at all, are very big. They have a huge participation in the green initiative of the Saudi Arabia, and I am sure that we will work together with them and bring the green initiative for the entire kingdom here.
Thank you, Salim, for your insights. All right, so that's a very interesting question, to be honest. So I have to also ask Jason about his views on this. So yeah, I believe so many companies are already accommodating to the Saudi vision. So what do you think, Jason, about the same?
Look, Salim kind of went through all the companies that they're kind of working with, and I'm pretty say that everyone in this panel is working with the same companies and helping them to drive the green initiative. I guess for us is that the FM has been changing slowly. We've naturally moved towards these strategies because they kind of save on the bottom line. But recently, we've seen huge changes in the way that FM has been outsourced. So we've seen this move from input to output specification. We've seen a lot of new authorities being developed to help drive this green agenda. So Salim was talking about local products. So a lot of that's been driven by the ICTFA program that's coming out of Aramco. Recently, you would have seen the rebrand of Masharoot to Expro, who's part of the government efficiency and expenditure program. So these organizations are focused on making their operations as efficient as possible, and wrapped up in that is the green initiatives. So, things that we've kind of are quite mature in the market are things like eco-friendly chemicals being utilized. So Michiel's been using those for 5 years now. So if by pure chance any of those chemicals get into the water source, they're not going to have an effect on the local ecosystem. Most of the companies here use microfiber. Just using microfiber alone with water cleans 98% of the dirt and germs within a facility. Companies are working towards basic manual green initiatives, from asking security guards to switch the lights off at night to save energy, right through to retrofit projects where they bring in the likes of thermal AC units to replace old stock to make them more efficient. There's other initiatives that are coming through as well, which we don't talk about, but have been driven by government. So the government's introduced Euro NCAP for vehicle fleet within the kingdom. So we find that most of our transport fleet is at a very high standard compared to Europe. And in the next 2 years, we'll see a lot of electric company cars coming into companies coming into the kingdom, which will then allow FM companies here to move into electric environment. Tashid is another one. So Tashid is another government organization that's driving the energy retrofit projects for government facilities. So they're looking at existing stock and new stock. So Michiel is a partner with Tashid, and they outsource the energy projects to the ministries and provide them solutions of how to make their properties a lot greener. The challenging one is waste. Waste is still, we've seen huge changes, I guess, in the last couple of years. I mean, we now have an e-recycling facility within Riyadh, which is fantastic. You can still recycle kind of the key materials, but there's still a lot that's missing from the market. And you still have the challenge of moving recycled waste out of a royal permission. You need special permission to kind of do that. But the changes are being put in place to allow us to really, I guess, have that waste, understand where our waste is going to, and that it is being recycled in Kingdom and it's being put back into the market. So yeah, the question is, are we accommodating? Absolutely. Are we part of that driving force? I would say yes, so. And I think the government is really reinforcing that with the right authorities to make sure that, you know, we're bringing all that innovation into hitting that objective, would be my view.
Thank you, Jason. So, Mr. Anas, I believe we have like the same idea that companies are accommodating the Saudi initiative, and also they're changing their mode of operation.
Karim, if you don't mind, first.
Yeah.
In your introduction, if you see, I was in 2015 and 2016 with the government, actually, and I was part of the team who formulated the Vision 2030 and all of that. So I wasn't part of from the government side. The idea is very simple. Saudi Arabia was oil-based economy before, and the vision here is wants to convert it to non-oil, other sectors, and that's the most important thing. It wants to be environmental cautious, and that's why you see it, the sustainability, the green, all built in on all the government levels. You can see it on the vision, you can see it in Saudi Green, you can see it in all of the programs. Even so, okay, how can we be environmental? That's the question was raised in 2015 when we were discussing putting up these visions. Is okay, how we can realize this environmental cautious sustainability within the Saudi Arabia plans. So that's when, as Jason said correctly, they moved to VRO, Vision Realization Office, Tershid. All of these programs started to see, okay, basically, if you want to be environmental cautious and you want to be, then you go for something called circular economy. And that's the whole, is you don't want, this is the vision again, if you go to circular economy, you want to minimize waste, carbon emissions. You can see that built across all of these visions and plans. For the Vision 2030, there's 11 programs. I think, believe 3 of them is related to sustainability and environment. Then we have the Saudi Green Initiative. It has another 60. This is the first wave, by the way. Has 60 different programs in it, which is already started. So the whole thing now is different. It's not about one initiative or the other. It's all about the whole government now is driving the country toward how to be environmental cautious. I like this term to use. Now, okay, what's that effect on the facility management companies? All of us are facility management. Okay, now, again, Jason mentioned it, the government is moving from input to output KPIs and performance. Everything is calculated. Efficiency, optimization is now, you can hear it. The type of customers, our clients, is changing. It's not any, this is always, we follow the clients. We fulfill the customer needs and the client needs. As a facility management, the clients change, and that's why automatically the facility management business itself and industry is changing to meet the client's needs. The client has set a very challenging and objectives for himself and for the people who work with him, including the waste management, energy saving, all of that, optimization. So all of that comes in one system. I would like to call it the ecosystem of the country. So that's why now, if you are a facility management company and you look for after your customers, this becomes a priority for your client, and that's why you need to align it. And that's what Initial Saudi Group did, and we did it early, very early actually. We started before that landscaping companies, and we have 3-4 different companies which under us specialize in these services. So it's all about how you align with your client. The client has raised his bar for the environmental and sustainability, and that's why everything will follow accordingly. That's my input.
Thank you so much for your input. It's special because you're coming from the background of the ministries, the government. So that's, yeah, both parties. Thank you for this. So Amani, I'd like to also to hear your opinion about how companies are changing their mode of operations to support, let's say, the government initiatives, programs, and movement towards more responsible environments.
But I think, Kareem, it's being more in line with the latest trends and digitalization of our processes. I mean, we can always focus better to be part of achieving these initiative goals. But however, I see one of the main, like I would say the main changes that we will need is being actually in line with these trends and digitalization in the processes that we have, all of us as FM companies, and having these operations supported.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so I believe we can shift towards more digitalization and sustainability. And my next question is for Jason. And I'd like to ask you about how going digital will support the sustainability movement in FM industry.
Okay, good question. Let me give you some examples. So Michiel introduced a work management system in early 2017. And then I think in the back end that year, we introduced a mobility system connected to the work management system. So we were able to send a planned reactive job or planned maintenance or reactive job directly to the technician with the location, contact details, and the information for the job. We're using it for hard services, for managing the maintenance, and we're also using it for the soft services. So to give you some context of what that's done for us, we manage approximately 100,000 assets across the kingdom. Now, if we printed one piece of paper for each of those PPMs and reactive tasks, it's equivalent to 200 reams of paper per day. Okay, so by just introducing that, we instantly cut that out, which has got a huge impact to the resources that we kind of use there. We've also seen clients go digital as well. So before you would print bid after bid after bid, submit it in a box to a client, one would be selected and the rest would be thrown in the bin, shredded and thrown in the bin. 80% of our tenders now are all digital. So, you know, that's a huge drive from the clients to reduce waste at the bidding stage, which is fantastic. We send tasks to, we've got about 100 mobile teams working across the kingdom, and they do about, let's say about 3 jobs a day. So if we told them to come and collect a piece of paper, come back and forth, that's approximately 3 trips, average distance, Riyadh, Jeddah, Dammam, you're looking at around about 30 kilometers a day. So I estimate that we're saving about 234,000 kilometers a month in picking up the job card, which is equivalent to about 234 trips from Riyadh to Dubai. So that's you can imagine the saving on fuel, you can imagine the saving on time, you can imagine the carbon reduction as well. So for us, digital it was a no-brainer. The benefits absolutely through based on optimized workforce. Again, you have that full digital access to job efficiency. You can create dashboards around that. So yeah, it's for us, it's a huge benefit to the sustainability agenda.
Yeah, it's a great driver for sustainability. Thank you. So, Mr. Anas, I'd like to hear also your opinion about this. So about digital support, the digital support and sustainability, and how this is going to be.
I'm a little different. Jason was focusing from facility management company. I'm always focused on client needs, fulfilling the client needs. So now, how digitization helping the client to optimize his operation, and this is the key question. Now, I was there on Y2K bug, if you remember, at 2000. relating BMS to worker management and CAFAM. So initial, I think we had 12 years now with the CAFAM system built in this, already in the system. But now what would happen is with the client, because again, the client is changing, not input, now he's output. Now, whenever we are giving a proposal to the client, we give him with the digitization, how we can save him his money, how can we save his energy, how much manpower actually he needs. Paperless, I agree with Jason 100% from our side. Also, the clients want that. That's it. But the majority here is how can you show him that you can save material, you can save man hours, you can save things for the client, running machines, linking to the BMS, all of that, we want to present it to him. That's why when we have the moduling now, we do some moduling for our customers, especially major customers. We show them how is the operation they put in their proposal, how we can save through digitization. Plus now the technology itself is changing. Now, if you see in the last few years, we have the IoT and artificial intelligence. We're trying to accommodate that for the client and to optimize the operation and to save money. And not because I am a contractor, I want to increase his cost. No, I want to reduce his cost. Okay, and automatically this has a positive impact on the resources used from his side. And as you know, the whole sustainability module is based on to minimize utilization of natural resources for the long run for the future generation. So that's why we always try whenever we present it digitized, we give him a mathematical how we can do the job is in his hand better. And that's the best, even for marketing side, I can show him he wants to make savings. That's how the customer, and it did work, by the way. It works, always works. Always work. And you have it in mathematical computation, how we can do it, and present it to him. He will always take that, okay, that's a good model through digitization. That's from what I see in the business.
It's more client-oriented, and it's actually creating benefit for the client to combine both digitalization and also system. Thank you, Mr. Anas. So, Amani, I'd like to ask you the same question, but I would like also to know the motivations behind this. I knew in Innova you have a lot of focus on this, so it's also something that we'd like to hear from you.
You're right, Karim. Like Innova capitalizing on innovation and digitalization actually drives the customer experience into a more positive one. I mean, it provides transparency in the information, operational efficiency. It promotes a circular economy and sustainability. Actually, I mean, few examples, if I may speak about Innova in specific, and having such as like I'm gonna say a couple of names that maybe actually aliens to anybody else, but like in Innova we have like Evo system, CAFAM system, Hubgrade system. It's all digitalization capabilities within Innova, and the motivation for the use of this, to drive sustainability solution, it provides more flexibility, which can actually drive a better managing to the cost, increase visibility, improve operational efficiency, and it can be more attractive to the customer, even from cost efficiency. I mean, Jason explained it in a very good way from a cost and, time-consuming perspective, which actually correct. That's what digitalization does to the processes in business in general.
What do you think also the motivation for the current customers in the market who would like to know more about the digital solutions, how this can benefit them? Is it something that they are already aware of, or it's something that they still
I think, see, our clients are very smart, Karim. I mean, clients these days, they know exactly what they want. And I would say that maybe the major drive or the major motivation is a flexibility that drives a better management in the cost. It's all about the cost these days. It's how to get better services with a more cost-efficient ways. I think that's the main motivation. There are a lot within operational process itself that drives this motivation, but I would say that this is actually the main one. Yeah.
So Salim, the next question is related to the sustainability features that are being applied in the FM industry and specifically the existing buildings at the moment. So can you give us like an overview about this?
Sure. Sustainability and especially in the FM industry is very important. And when we talk about our EFS, we have our own the FM system, which is FM Pro, and it is implemented about around 20 countries now, and we have the strength here in Saudi Arabia also. Further, we are also going for different modules. It is a system where, you know, when you are connected with it, the client has a complete access. He can monitor all your activities, the PPM, the reactive, the all sort of things, you know, the reports, weekly, daily, all these things are there. Then the best thing in this also, against the sustainability, that it is paperless. We are talking about here, you know, the paper and all these things. You can understand that, you know, with this IoT, which is the Internet of Things, when we connect so many, you know, the gadgets together, and it gives you a lot of accessibility for yourself. All our technical field engineers, managers, they are using that. Sometimes it is the tablet, sometimes it is the handheld devices, sometimes they are working on the workstations, but nothing required to go and print and all these. That is very big, the achievement of the sustainability. The other thing is what we have before, and we have established in our office also, and some of our international office, that we are going now paperless. I will say that in Saudi Arabia also, we are about 70% now paperless. Mostly we are working on our things. So I mean, if you reduce the paper, it means that we are saving the trees, you know, which are good for our environment and all these things. With the other thing for the CAFM system, computer-aided facility management system, which is FM Pro for us, and some places we have the client-based systems also, Maximo or some other system. It is again the easy accessibility and the cost optimization, where you have the people working on that. The client-based systems are they have the full access. They are monitoring everything, and then we are communicating on the same thing on this. The other thing, which I believe with the CAFM or the FM Pro system, is the client satisfaction. If any of the project we implement these type of system, different companies have different systems. Like EFS has a FM Pro. Some other companies are having different. Again, the main the idea of this, that the client have a complete the access. He can give you. Nowadays we are going for the performance based contracts. We are moving out. Everybody is now, you know, is not going to see your reports and all these things. Everybody will be seeing your system. In system, the SLA, that KPI, they will rate you, and then immediately, you know, in click of the button, you have everything ready. So this is very, very good, and it is sustainable for all the things. The second thing which we are working as an FM company is the energy management services. A lot of the companies are working on different ideas. There are something that we can have the energy audits. We are working closely. My friend Jason has also given the name of Tarshid. We are working closely with them, and we are have services also. It is like audits. It is very good for the company that electrical appliances, the thermal imaging, energy conversion, all are there where we can get the benefit of these things. Building automations, where we have to have smart building solutions, sensors, proximities, you name it. You know, a lot of things are there where we are trying our best with the client. Again, you know, sometimes it is within the contract we are doing ourselves. Sometimes it is we prepare some of the proposals and we go to the client and agree with them that these are the costs, and we give them the proper the outcome of our study, that this is where now your current status, you are spending this much money. If you go for this, you can save this, you know, this much. So that is very important thing. we are trying some of our projects, and still it is continue. HVAC solutions. A lot of places, you have DACs, it has different. How can we sustain our buildings? We introduce the VFTs, different type of the sensors. How can we reduce the energy? So this is also one system. Lighting controls. I believe nowadays it is the LED lighting system, solar panels. We are working on some projects where we have about 2 kilometers of the road. It is fully now on the solar system lightings, full lighting. So this is what we have, the energy management system available, and we are also producing with the clients that go for these type of things. This is also going renewable solutions, where we have like the wind turbines. In one of the project now in Eastern Province, one of our client, we explained them that if we have the wind turbine, we can reduce this. And Alhamdulillah, I mean the 6 months back, we have completed the whole project, and it is going very well. So this is also again the energy management services, and we can have in this grey water solutions. Also one of the things that we have a lot of waste of the grey water. If we have a proper system, we can utilize it, and it is also the energy management type of the services. Some of the things which we are also closely working with some of our major clients are how can we make sure that we can sustain this, during the inception of the design. We make sure that yes, if we install instead of a chiller or instead of some other type of district cooling system, if we have another benefits available, something available in the market, we should go for it. Same like the smart building solutions, if it is in the beginning in this of the contract, or it is in the design stage, if we implement it, I'm sure that next 5 years, you will have a lot of savings and energy efficient buildings and the projects which we can, I believe, which we can say that yes, Saudi Arabia is now going towards the 2030 vision, and we are saving a lot of the carbon footprints and all these things. I have seen in one of the project in Al-Wajh, the entire the route was covered by the green trees. Before 6 months back, I don't see anything. So these are the things where some of the companies are coming with a big investment, and they are putting the lot of efforts in this.
Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry for disturbing. Yeah, I'm just a bit conservative about the time remaining, so I'll have to run through the other questions.
Sure.
Thank you very much for these insightful sustainability training. I believe we can even dedicate a session for only sustainability features, because it's a very important topic. So thank you for sharing these insights with us.
Yes.
So I'll move to the next question that we have, which is related to the sustainability reporting, and I'd like to ask Jason about this and how the companies also are responding to the creation of the need for CSR reports and the way that they are disclosing the information related to sustainability, and how this is something affecting the FM industry.
Yeah, so look, I think this is where the development is. So if we the stuff that Salim was talking about is probably 5% of the building stock in the kingdom. If you look at the rest, it's probably 35, 40 years old. And there's a real challenge around the sustainability reporting within those areas. So if you look on the market now, there's a million devices that are IoT connected, and even just trying to get into a building management system, most of them are locked. So there's a lot of people working on ways of getting into building management systems to pull that data out in real time so that you can make intelligent decisions around it. And then there's the IoT devices that allow you to pull information out in a way that you can create dashboards for your client. So the price of an IoT device, I think, is around about $100 per device per month. And once you start to throw 1,000 devices into a building, the cost goes up. And when you look at that, 95% of that building stock that can't afford to pay for that cost to bring the data out. So I think the reporting is coming a big part, and there's a good mix of it. You know, there's a mix that's being done as low key as using Microsoft Forms to pull the data out into some way that can be visualized for clients, right through to IoT devices. At Mihil, we have an energy data logger that records energy at the property level, stores the energy data for 35 years. It's not cloud-based, and we can pull that through into a real-time dashboard. So I think the reporting appetite from the clients is they want real time. They wanted to do some sort of analytics that they can make some decisions from. So for example, we have a customer that's got 30,000 properties kingdom-wide. You know, we just don't have the physical resources to go into those properties and come up with a solution for a wind turbine or a replacement of an AC. So the dashboard is doing all the heavy work for the customer to understand that. So if you take an average square meterage of a building and its energy consumption in real time, you can actually start to highlight hot zones within those 30,000 properties that could take a little bit more focus to reduce their energy consumption. So I think the reporting is there. The appetite is absolutely in real time, but the customer requirements is different. You know, that 5% Salim was talking about, they want cutting edge technology. The rest of them, they want a mix between Microsoft Forms right through to a Power BI dashboard that's kind of operating it. So there's a broad spectrum of kind of area from a reporting point of view. That would be my view on it.
That's interesting. Mr. Anas?
Yes.
Yeah, yes. I was coming to you.
Again, I think both of them is an energy focused guy. But when you talk about sustainability reporting in any building, I came from the healthcare sector. And the healthcare energy is the top of the list, but also how much output of waste, both infected and non-infected waste, how they are changing from one department to the other, from the wards, the wastewater, how much we are wasting. So energy savings and the dashboard for this technology is one thing. The outputs from the organization itself, because again, we're going to circular environment, zero net, that's the objective of the whole country now. So you don't look at it from the energy savings only. You need to see, okay, what's the output coming from the organization in terms of waste, water waste, gray water, infected waste, normal waste, all of that we need to be in the dashboard. Then we come to the second one, very important also, the utilization of the building itself and the material. And this is always a key in the sustainability, is how long, for example, the flooring, the PVC flooring, or the lighting, how much the lifetime span of all these equipment and the fabric of the building depends on the traffic on that building. So all of that, there is the first line, as the gentleman mentioned it, both Salim and Jason, but we need to see the output of the building and how much we can. The more you control the output means you also control the input to the building and to achieve higher sustainability level. So two parts I would like to focus, not only in energy savings, that's very important. I think it's the top of the list, but also we need the output from the building, what the waste is coming, how much, why we have this waste. And the third one is itself, the fabric and the building and the machinery within the same building, how long they are lasting, why we have this high change or high deterioration of the building. So that's all need to be combined in the dashboard for the sustainability of the buildings.
So Amani, I'd like to ask you about the different rating systems related to sustainability, including LEED. Well, there are so many in the market. Even in Saudi Arabia, they have most of them rating system. So how do you think this will impact Saudi Arabia's market, the FM specifically?
I'd like to say yes, it does actually. It does has an impact, and I have to say it's a very positive impact. Kareem, can you lead buildings with these titles? these actually give a better ranking in terms of sustainability in general. That's number one. That's a fact that probably everybody working in sustainability knows. And if it's a well-designed and within LEED certification or WELL certification building, that only give you an indication of how much lower initial and running cost that building does. So that alone is actually very attractive in the market. Another thing as well, LEED buildings are normally, they have more efficient and effective use of a space. Now, everybody is looking for that nowadays. Now, using as well materials that offers, speaking of from a construction perspective now, not only FM, using material that offers low environmental impact and lowering pollution with waste, with energy consumption, that's also something attractive. Now, this will eventually, and when you ask about the Saudi market change positively, this will eventually enhance Saudi Arabia position in being part of the big global market by following international standards. So yes, it does have a huge, actually positive impact on Saudi market.
Thank you, Amin. So Jason, I believe I have asked you the same question because I believe the majority of the buildings are already existing. And if we are applying these rating systems, this should have an impact. What do you think about that impact? How it will be implemented? How it will impact like the whole...
So Amani's right. It's a clear reflection of the state of the buildings, and it's a quantifiable measure that allows you to say how they're performing. It's already being utilized here. So a lot of the new build, the customers are absolutely driven to achieve. I've seen a lot of leads being put into the scopes of the contracts and us supporting them to achieve the highest possible rating. I also know that the likes of Expro, they've gone out to international markets to look at best practice to push in. So they're writing a national framework for building efficiencies. And I'm pretty sure Tashid is looked at the LEEDs model as well. So those organizations have adopted practices from those measures and push those through. So there's definitely a drive from clients to have it. I think it's it adds value. Two, it's a bit of a pride thing, and three, I think they want to be an employer of choice. They want to put it on the building to show their employees and their customers that this is what we're doing towards the sustainable agenda. So it's here. It could be a lot. It could be pushed in a lot harder, but I guess it comes down to which of the authorities would adopt that process and apply it across the multiple ministries to start measuring them.
Yeah, actually, I just want to mention one point, very important point about the existing building and the LEED and the new Saudi Building Code, this SPC, which was enforced starting 1st of Muharram 1440. Okay, do you know that it has one complete chapter about LEED and how your building should be the sustainability and environmental friendly on the building. So now it's not only about, it's not a choice. It's not even choice. It's a mandatory now. Even if you go to the energy, you are building a new building or you're changing existing building also, renovating it, you need to start adopting. Saudi Building Code enforces if you're doing a renovation of the building, you have to meet the requirement, including the insulation, energy, all of that is required. So the Saudi Building Code is a big change on the market now, and that's why you will see even the behavior of the market will change to enforce the Saudi Building Code.
We are receiving now questions from the audiences. So I'll start by sharing these questions. We have at the moment 3 questions. The first one is coming from Keith Wyness, and he's asking about one of the main cost revenue calculations is based on what price can be paid for power generated from waste. Where do the panel think a price per megawatt will go in KSA in next 2-3 years? Would like to take on this one.
Can Jason, you repeat that? I couldn't get the question.
One of the main cost revenue calculations is based on what price can be paid for power generated from waste. Where do the panel think the price per megawatt will go in KSA in the next 2-3 years? So it's basically more oriented towards the cost of the electricity, depending on what we have and the cost revenue calculations.
No, I'm kind of reading that different. Isn't the question more around, you know, can we use waste to generate electricity? Yeah. So I think that's what the question's targeted at. I don't think the market is, and I'm guessing, I'm not an expert in this area, I don't think it's quite at a price point where that is viable. I think if it's going to be used, it would be more about saving and utilize landfill space just to offset that, to do it. So I think that's what the question is targeting at is, you know, will the energy price be at a point where, you know, we can burn waste to generate energy?
I think, yeah, when the Saudi Arabia run out of oil, that's
we can shift towards.
Yeah.
Another question from Monib Khorshid. How does the capital construction cost in general compares when modern sustainable methodology or solutions are used compared to traditional construction methods? This is related more not to DFM, maybe more towards the construction industry. So what do you think?
Just repeat the question one more time, please.
How does the capital construction cost in general compares when modern sustainable methodology or solutions are used compared to the traditional construction methods?
I think there is two curves. We need to take two curves. The first curve is the learning curve for Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is the sustainability curve. We're talking about Saudi Arabia, by the way. It started in 2016 and 17 with the initiative, the 2030, the NTP, the National Transformation Program, and the Vision 2030. So there's a learning curve. So the learning curve, the highest cut, the cost will drop. The cost now, from what I see, I don't know my colleagues if they agree or not with me, the sustainability module costs 30% than the classic module. I don't know, I'll open it for the other, my colleagues to give a rough estimate.
So Salim, you'd like to also share your opinion?
Yeah, this is what Karim I have highlighted in first question also. I mean, at the time of the pre-construction, you know, of course, pay some cost about the building solutions and sustainable building and all these things. What Mr. Anas is saying that the 30%, 35%, sometimes 40%, the cost will be high on that. And I mean, considering the old methods of the construction, the buildings, concrete, and all this. Again, I mean, if you sustain that against the cost and you amortize it maybe 20 years or 15 years, whatever the age of the building is there, you will be very cheap, you know that. But again, in the beginning, you will have some cost, you know, is coming to make sure that yes, your capex and all these things are high. But again, I mean, after spending this much money and you for amortization, all these things, you will have a building which is sustainable and which is fully equipped with all these things. You know, some of the buildings now, what the clients are going, they have to be LEED certified. Of course, you know, the normal buildings will not have that much cost. If you are going for LEED, and it has a lot of advantages also in future. Cost will be a little bit high, but again, you know, if you advertise these things, it will be very easy and it is easy to maintain. You will have long-term savings in that. And it is by the system, by the processes, by the enhancement of some of the new technologies and all these things are there.
All right, so we have another question from Ali Al-Harbi. His question is, for energy sustainability projects, a project that consumes high initial costs and time to restore, how do you see the desire of customers to work on it?
I think if you lay down the results, sorry, Mr. Anas, but I think if you lay down the results professionally in a cost-effective and good execution plan, that would still look attractive. And clients, they will always have this perception, Kareem, always. And it costs more money. Again, it's only a perception. And shifting to a more sustainable energy savings approach, and it comes with a higher cost. This is actually not true. And this is where actually rules come to provide more cost-effective solutions. مثلا في zero capex methods, the shared savings methods, and clients need to understand that eventually, it's actually lowering the cost and being more, efficient. But it's a perception that you need to clear. I think with a good technical knowledge and a lesson learned and practice project previously, where you bring them as an example, as a success story, that should be easily, a good selling, story and selling point to the clients in general.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Mr. Anas had something to say.
Yes, yeah, I actually, I think he was asking about energy sustainability. And when you talk about energy in Saudi Arabia, 70%, I think, of our energy is toward air conditioning. Especially, it's a very hot country. Air conditioning is the main consumption. And if you align that with the sustainability, energy sustainability with air conditioning, that is the key question: is how is the performance of the sustainability toward the air conditioning? And if you go back to our history inside the 40, 50 years, my grandfather and my father, they use a special kind of air conditioning within the houses. If we can start developing this kind of thinking, I think we can reduce the energy consumption and we'll have it in different ways. But again, we are in a learning curve in Saudi Arabia. I think we need another 5 to 10 years to develop our own module for conditioning with sustainability, how we can minimize energy consumption with the natural and the environment, using the natural environmental methods. That's the whole question. And I see development every day, but it needs maturity time for it.
That might lead us to another question related to the challenges that are facing the market at the moment to implement the sustainability and more environmentally responsive solutions. So do you think this is something that all the companies should work against, or let's say this is something that governments should encounter to try to pave the way for the companies to solve their problems in terms of applying sustainability? Mr. Anas?
No, I don't think it's a challenge for the facility management. It's giving you a new market. Okay, so it is a new market for us, and I think it opens a new grounds for the facility management, from digitization, from the method of the processes we work, the way we work is changing. And I'm in 30 years, honestly, 30 years in this business for facility management. And I can tell you, every year, these 2 years, I can see the changes in on. This is, for us, a dynamic environment. Sustainability now is a reality in Saudi Arabia. It wasn't like that 15 years ago or 10 years ago even. Now it's a reality. It gives a new dimension for the facility management in Saudi Arabia. It's not a challenge. It's a new venue, I would like to call it.
All right. Yeah, that's very insightful. All right. So, Jason, do you would like to answer this question before we close? The same one related to the challenges that are facing the FM market?
trying to get away from energy. I guess for me it's more around recycling. Okay, so there's huge investment in creating waste recycling facilities. The bit that I would like to see is probably more focus on chain of custody from pickup point to where the waste is being taken to be recycled. So I kind of feel that could be strengthened a lot more. So at least we have some real good clarity of where that waste is going and how it's being used or where it's being left. And probably a lot more promotion around, the recycling facilities within the kingdom. So I did mention that getting recycled waste out of a royal commission is challenging. You need special permission to do that. So just taking some glass for recycling, you have to receive special permission. So that then drives the FM to go, you know what, it's easier just to send it to landfill to get it to kind of get dealt with. So if the FM companies had more visibility of the recycling facilities within the kingdom, I think they've all got the appetite to use it because A, it's cost neutral, maybe they can make a little bit of revenue from it, but then the reporting needs to support that. So it's not just going to a staging station only to go to landfill later, but it's generally being turned into a product that maybe we can buy and give back to our customers as well. So that would be the only area I think that can really support it. Anas is right. I think the market is opening up. I think the government has put in all the controls to allow competition, innovation, funding. They've put in the authorities to support that. So it's a huge market, and between the 5% and the 85%, there's a lot to go after. But I think in the grey water area, the recycling, I think there could be a little bit more focus just to help support that.
Right, thank you. So this is the end of our session. I'd like to thank all of you for sharing your insight, experiences for our audiences. And I'd like also to meet you in person one day. So yeah,
Sure.
Thank you for your time. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. It's nice to meet everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.